It's been like a year since I've done this. Where are the headphones review? And see, you should take them off your head and you talk about them. Then you talk about the box. But I wanted you to have the experience because the advanced alphas are probably the, I don't know, no one gives a shit. They were on mass drop a long time ago and nobody bought them. And then they came back on mass drop 5 months later, 4 or 5 months later, and the purchase, if you know how mass drop works, is like if I'm at a minimum number of purchase units, they'll drop it to this price, and it's a mass drop. And the minimum amount of units that needed to be purchased was 3. And that is the saddest number, because I looked at it, and there was 1 and like 2 days left. So I'm like, oh, I have a Patreon, and I'm interested in this planar, and everyone's bitching that it's like, oh, it's a Chinese OEM, and it's like, okay, then where's the other ones that, you know, if it's an OEM, if they're just a copy of something, where's the other ones? Because I didn't see them, so $450 of the Patreon money out the window. And I think someone else obviously bought the third one because I got the price of $450, which puts it into some company and some competition, so it's gotta have to perform for that sort of money. Now, here's a weird thing also. Mass drop usually takes weeks and weeks and weeks. Shut up 2 days later. That drop ended and it was on my doorstep. Okay. So Advanced was actually at CanJam also. And they mostly do IMs. IM, then a little pair of headphones, and these are the big headphones. And let me pull them out of the box so that you can see what we are talking about. And I like this box, but it's like a little, it's a little, you gotta like work it. Girl, you gotta work it, girl. One of the prettiest looking. Like, here's the thing. It's on mass drop. They look like this. Can you grasp how they look? Where like this is no, that's thin. It's like it's a very, very light. This is a metal and advanced alpha, and it's got a little red ring to indicate right side. It's clearly visible because this one's black, and it says designed for musicians, and that's sort of like and it's metal with the strap that's padded, and it's like oh, and 2 pairs of pads, and I've got the alternate pads on. These are the pads it ships with, and they pop out of the top like so, and you're like ooh, and there's perforations here. And this is more like the solid pad. And the ones I have on the unit are the cloth ones, so perfect on the inside and then cloth, but still solid on the outside. They come off with a twist. Not a quarter turn, but like a barely turn. You can see they got the little latches. Ooh, there's a planar driver. I could see you. There's also a little blue dot. And it matches up with a little blue dot here, and that's got a little red dot on the other side. And you put them in, and you go click. You go and that's it. So let's put those down and unbox the rest of that. Grasp that. So we've got this, which we'll get to, and we got the wires, which I just repacked. And I don't like repacking things, but it was like this experience of taking this apart was like so nice. It was like, all right. Box done. Box is done. Talk about the wire for a second. I know I want to hear them too. So connectors are standard black, just black aluminum, gold plated, 3.5 millimeter to 2.5 millimeter. So we'll get to why that's great but terrible at the same time. And then you look at the wire, and it's like this weave. Can I like bust just like I know how nice cables are built, and this is do I want to say the words that are about to say? I'm about to say some words. This might be the nicest cable to come with a headphone. Like I don't give a shit if it's silver with copper. It claims all the things that things claim, and it's short. I mean, this is a 4-foot table, and that's just a little bit over 4 feet. It's probably like 54 inches. Which is a good length for portable. Now keep in mind, I also mentioned that Advanced makes IMs, mostly IMs. And I got a set of their IMs, and it's pretty much like this cable. So they just said, fuck it. And, oh, did you see, like, it was curled up, and there's nothing not straight about it. And it flows, and it's got it's very light. And that's going to be, because then, you know, I picked them up, and they look like this. And they got a red indicator that's very well indicated, and that's automatically a 10 out of 10 for Zeos. Whatever it sounds like, it doesn't matter. But then you look at, okay, so I can't, that's probably plastic around here. That's metal, and it's thick metal. It's folded, but it's rounded on top, and then that's a metal hinge that's, like, you could see the pivot point there, and how that's just a washer in the middle, and then this, and now there's going to be arguments in the comments. All right, here it comes. You ready? I'm going to say these are the lightest planars I've ever used, like weight-wise. It's just you know, they don't make lots of rattly noises, but they're so light. Anyway, lightest planars I've ever held. And now someone's gonna go online. They're gonna look up how much they weigh, and they're gonna find out the grams. They're gonna go, "Oh, Zeos, you're stupid because these are 3 grams lighter." And I'm gonna be like, "Shut the fuck up," because its weight has a lot to do with how much it weighs, but also how it distributes that weight. If it's in the magnets, if these things were heavy and this was nothing, then that would be a different feel than the way it is. It's very balanced feeling. There was a problem though. The clamp on these was atrocious. The problem I had with the Monoprice 560s, where I had to bend the headband in to give it clamp. Here, you ready? Oh, Zeos, didn't you just pay $500 for those? Yeah, I did that, and then put a fucking speaker on them for 12 hours. Like, as far as you can bend that. And they're still pretty grippy. I didn't do much. They still have all that, but it was like, you know what? I can't wear these, so I'm just gonna do that. And they survived, and they still are surviving to this moment. So if you find the clamp is too much on your advanced alphas, feel free to just be a dick. Remember, Patreon money isn't my money, it's your money. So I'm just like, you know what? Can I do this? Yeah, I think I can. Just that's it. Just a speaker on it. A heavy speaker. I think it was my Air Motive 6. You know, like fucking 30 pounds. So I gave it a little less clamp, and then I tried the pads, and I tried to actually listen to it. I gotta plug it in. I love the cable. It's needed clamps. It's very light, very light. How light? So light. In fact, so light that I'm like, wait, are these portable? Because it's... I'm plugging things in. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Before we start playing music, came with this genuine leather little wire holder. And I know it's genuine leather because it says genuine leather. Then you take it open, and it says genuine leather again, in case once wasn't enough. Magnet, so you can be like. So you're supposed to wrap up the cable with it, and it's just like, and then it goes and it's really nice. Honestly, presentation-wise, hard to beat these. That's adorable. Is that metal? Metal. I knew. All right, fuck it. You're there now, buddy. So you plug in your cable, you plug in your headphones, you put them on with these pads, and it's a little bit like, whoa, buddy. And I know why no one bought them on Massdrop, because Massdrop puts the images up. Which, by the way, here's a bit of conspiracy. I bought them on Massdrop. In fact, here's my transaction history, and if I go to the pay, if I hear Advanced Alpha, if I go to anything else, if I go to the fucking F4XX or the S7, you know, the pages will come up and it'll show me everything. Here it is again, the other one I bought. But if I click on the one for the Advanced Alphas, whoops, completely blanked. Massdrop blanked it. They didn't even want you seeing what they wrote. So either they fucked up real bad, and they just said, all right, screw it, we're just going to completely erase it from our memory. Or, I mean, here, I bought nail clippers. Here's the nail clippers. The drop is inactive, but it shows you all the information. They're really nice Japanese nail clippers, by the way. Go look for them. They're the Seki Edge 2-piece grooming kit. So I can't even go to the Massdrop post to show you what they had. They had a frequency response graph, which you talk to DMS3TV. He loves those. Everyone, oh, frequency response. Let's see it. Let's see it. It shows you how the headphones are going to work, which is bullshit. But you can learn about that in the podcast. We always argue about it. But the frequency response graph on these headphones was, okay, what was that? What did it just do? If you know anything about how frequency response graphs work, this will be interesting to you. The graph they showed for these headphones had a 12 decibel spike at 7K. Now, I saw that before I purchased them on Massdrop. And I fucking just like, what that should mean is that when you put these headphones on, you instantly liquefy. You just liquefy your brains and you fall to the floor dead. Because if you go into any equalizer, and you have foobar, if you have, well, you should have foobar, and you go and you load the equalizer and you find the 7K little thing and you click it on, you go 12 decibels. It'll just be like a paper shredder with glass bottles being fed into it, and then that being put into your ear. That's what it'll be like. And these don't have that. Granted, they have a little bit of sharpness to them. Just see the Italian fucking, that's a little bit. Put a little Parmesan cheese in that, a little bit. That's a little bit simple. But not that. So I was super relieved when I put these on and I didn't instantly liquefy my brains. That being said, I did immediately change the pads because I'm like, whoa, there's some intensity going on that I do not want to stomach right now. Let me try these cloth pads, because cloth, or velour in this case, usually you go from a sealed pad, traps all the sound, and it really, you know, but then you get the fabric and it sort of lets it breathe a little bit better. It's like making open things more open, which some of my things up there I've actually made open things more closed. That's another story. So okay, change the pads, put these on. All right, I like these better. I just had to spend some like 25 minutes on these, and they still work. But you know, you're gonna, if you get these, if I can convince you to get them, and it's a lot of fucking weirdness. Like, you have to buy them from their site directly. So you can't buy them on Massdrop anymore. Massdrop is fucking, they don't give a shit. They are on Amazon from one pair new for $1,400, which is $950 more than I paid. Oh, plus $84 shipping. So whoever the fuck Newsbridge is, fuck you guys. You're assholes. So I would love to link you these on Amazon, but you know, maybe I'll contact Advance, because they have contacted me, and I'm sort of like, are you only going to sell on your site? Because here's their site, and they want $500 for the pair. So it was a $50 savings getting them from Massdrop. And look, a response graph, and there's 7K, and oh, Jesus Christ, it's still there. Hey, look at it. Here's 90, 100, 110. Can we view this image? I wanna. Can I not zoom this in? You mother. There we go. All right, let's take a trip. So 90 decibels. We'll call that the flat line, because that seems to be where they're going with this. 20 hertz, and we travel over, there's 200 hertz, and there's 500 hertz, and 1K. Now we start getting to like 2K, which is good. There's a little spike at like 2,500, and then there's a dip at 4,500, just way down. It's just like 8 decibels down there. And then Mount fucking Everest appears. I don't even know where we are up here. What's the number in the middle of that? Because 90 is where it's supposed to be. It's at 115. So that's 15 decibels up at exactly 7K or 7,200. And then it's just, ooh, ignore that, because that's too high for anyone to give a shit. So that's why no one bought these. And it's their graph. It's on their site. It's not like Massdrop measured it and they're just dicks. This is it. This is what they're showing you. And that's a scary motherfucker. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. That's a scary motherfucker. What is that? All right, let's never go to that again. I apologize. Back to anime titties. No, not anime titties yet. You wanted me to talk about how they sound. Well, we're getting to that. It's a Z review. If you haven't been here before, you're going to have to just fucking wait, or you got to watch something else. I only want people who are patient. I want patient people watching my videos. That's why they're so fucking long. It shows you how to change your pads. It tells you it's an N48 planar magnetic. It's a 96 millimeter driver, silicone composite. Sound pressure level per watt, 90. 90 is very low. Impedance. This is an important one. If you know anything about headphone impedance or speaker impedance, it's efficiency. It's, you know, low impedance cans are usually easier to drive. Those 2000Xs are very easy to drive, 32 ohms. These, 34 ohms. Oh, 34 ohms, but not very high sound pressure level. These are some of the hardest planars to drive. And we're going to have to talk about scaling, which I don't do. I brought it up in the Sennheiser 500 series video, which is probably not out yet or has come out before. I don't know how that's going to work. Then we go with frequency responses, 20 hertz to 40,000 hertz, because everyone gives a shit. Then we get an issue that's definitely a typo. Maximum input power, 20 milliwatts. No. Then rated input power, 50 milliwatts. So that's like saying the car can only do 20 miles an hour. At most. That's the fastest the car can go, is 20 miles an hour. But, you know, normally it drives 50 miles an hour. That's just suppose they fucked up that. That should be maybe maximum input power 2,000 milliwatts. They're missing not one but two zeros. And rated input power at 50 milliwatts wouldn't... All right. Hi. Let's get to these headphones. Let's get to them because I fucking love them. Oh, Zeus, you love everything. Yeah, I like flawed things. I like underdogs, and I like things that are very, very particular. And now I'm getting into it. These fucking headphones sound amazing. So amazing that I had to take an 8-hour drive somewhere. And you shouldn't wear headphones when you're driving. That's fucking obvious. But not to Zeus, especially if you're driving in big, like, no one there roads. I knew for 4 hours at least there was going to be not like a gas station, and I had to make sure I feel like I was just driving for 8 hours. And for the first 4 hours, I didn't bother with music. And then the next 4 hours, I'm like, you know what? Put these headphones on. And I used my little portable player, and I used the FIO Q1. And I was starting to get the flavor of what the fuck is wrong with these headphones. Not wrong like forever wrong, but wow. We were going to talk about scaling and how headphones scale with amperage. So I've got a selection of amplifiers here. And then for this review, I pulled out the R2R11 because I needed more information. So these headphones, 34 ohms is nothing for a planar. But these headphones need power or they sound different. Like the most different. Maybe my HD600s, if you underpower them, they don't sound quite right, and then you give them the right amount of power, and ooh, maybe the T50s, T20s, you give them like a watt, and they're like, ooh, they're good, but then you give them 8 watts, and they're like, oh, fuck. But these motherfuckers, by the way, t-shirts are coming up, and it's gonna have one that says these right across your tits with 3 E's. These motherfuckers, which by the way, have you noticed how gorgeous they are? If I do low and high on this R2R, completely changes the headphones you're listening to. Just completely. You put them on high, and you get that. I have to talk about how they sound so that you can understand why I'm describing the differences. So let's do that first before I get into the high-low, and then the fact that my tube amp distorts before these get loud enough. They don't sound wide. They sound very focused, very ball. There's a couple headphones, and I usually don't like that intensity. I'm a more relaxed sound sort of guy. I want to put on headphones and relax. Sometimes I want to put on headphones and, get a little bit more. And these do a very fucking good job of showing me that, like, hey, here's all the fucking stuff that's happening in your song. And then this lateral imaging is what I'm going to call it. Because it should be soundstage. When I would define a headphone, it's okay. Come here, Neurophones and that expensive bass. Headphone is, imaging is the resolution between the sounds left and right, and then the sound stage is how much further out things happen. That's my normal spiel. If I have to explain to someone, that's what it is. Does it sound like the sound is happening here, or does it sound like the sound is happening way over there? And then accuracy, when something pans from left to right, that's imaging. And those are my two metrics for you know, basically how you define a headphone sound. And these headphones fuck my fucking brain up a little bit, because it all sounds like it's happening right here inside of me, and then whoosh, but only certain sounds. It's not like you put on the X1s or X2s and it's wow, we're in this giant space all the time. And you put these on and you're not in the giant space all the time, except when you occasionally are. It's like the Twilight Zone. It's like listening to the Twilight Zone. And I'm not sure if that's going to make everyone's day, but it fucking made mine. Because I only buy headphones and keep them if they do something different than every other headphone. Those Grotto GS1000s, I can't describe what those do. They have no bass, but they don't even feel like you're wearing headphones. It's some weird fucking quasi sound field. And these do something similar, where it feels like I'm standing next to two rooms, and in those rooms are like 7 speakers, and I'm just standing there with the doors open, and things are just happening places, but then it's also inside me. I feel like I need to be on drugs to describe how these sound, because I shouldn't like them. When you get them powered properly, and let me show you what powered properly looks like. Shoot to throw live is way too much. Like, that's so fucking, I'm fucking, it's just AC/DC. It's just like, ugh. And it's great. And if I switch songs to something else, Devil May Cry soundtrack, which I haven't finished to show, so I'm in the room, and now I'm between those two rooms where there's just stuff happening left and forward and up and down. It's my original Mad Dogs. I described them as having, give me a fucking phone block. God damn it, I'm Zeos. I'm the queen of phone blocks. Okay. Sounds are happening here. It's very it's all here and then here. It varies per track. And now we're going to talk about the high-low. Because how's the bass, Zeos? Well, how's the treble, Zeos? Well, that fucking depends. That fucking depends. That's why I'm sitting here for fucking 3 hours going, huh? 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 If you underpower these headphones, they're boring. I plugged them straight into my little portable player and went, you know, they're alright. They're alright. You know, but you still get a little bit of that, what I'm talking about, where the sound stage is doing that weird thing. They don't sound like fucking Nighthawks, where it's just like super weird and you can't describe it. I know exactly what's happening. It's just interesting. But it doesn't, they don't grab you as $500 planars until you power them right. And I put the Q1 on the thing, and I love my little Fio Q1, and I turn that shit all the way up. I turn my player all the way up, because it was analog to analog. And then I was driving with these for 4 hours, because I couldn't take them off my head once I had enough power in them. And the Q1 is barely enough power. That's enough power. This is enough power? Look where the fucking knob is. That's 2 o'clock, and that's on a loud song. You gotta be like there on a quiet song. And even though the efficiency of 90 is ridiculously low. I don't care how many ohms it is. And then the ohms being so low causes amps to do weird things, because low ohms means it's not drawing as much, but it's just more power. That's why the tube's just out of the question. If you have advanced alphas, don't even fucking bother plugging them into tubes. I go from there to there, and it's just distortion. High to low. High low. So oof, just oof in that, and okay here. I put on, and that's the reason I kept this R2R, for pulling it out for this one review. Days of the New, the Downtown. it's doing that. Like, that room is playing a speaker, and now there's a room up there that's playing some fucking guitar, and then it's like, ooh, I love this. This is happening right now. We're on high gain. Now to switch to low gain. And I gotta turn up way more. And now they sound like headphones. Like, that guitar that was above me is no longer above me. It's just left and right. Highs drop. Where the highs are really fucking intense, but they're not too intense, but they're intense, gone. Just like, just normal. Just no. This high-low gain or high-low impedance switch, depending on who you ask, completely changes how they sound. And the reason I brought this out is because it has a fucking switch. There's no switch on that, there's no switch on that, there's no switch. Well, this can't be used. And that's fucking high all the time. High all the time. Get you off my mind. Okay, I'm singing. I can't sing that playlist. Anyway, so with this amp, and I trust this amp to have enough power to do most things, you throw it on high, you put on a song, put on a real song, a man's song, a song for men to look at women. Daft Punk, Fragments of Time, perfect. Let's skip to a little bit in. And crash my foobar. Please don't crash. You never crash. Okay. So high. Intense. Singing, right? Warm, thick bass. I'm there. I want to hear this whole song, and then you switch low and you raise it up. And it's still got a lot of the qualities. Bass is completely just dulled, and the treble's just... Here's the thing. I don't think putting it in high mode makes it V-shaped. I think it's relatively flat, maybe a little bit bump in the bass and treble when you're on high, when you have a high gain amp. But when you drop, it's just, whoa. It's just a warm mass of sound. So take that or leave it as a benefit or a failure. I don't care. Let's look at some cables for a second, because I fucking love this cable. I love it. I've never used a stock cable on a headphone and enjoyed it as much as let me think. No, kinda have to. Actually, no, I switched that one too. No, no, kinda have to. No, no, no. I fucking cut that one off. No, kinda have to, but I built one. So no, I don't use stock cables. Fuck stock cables. They're always bad. Not this one. I mean, it's brown. It's copper, like brown colored, which isn't even matching the black, but it's so nice. So, but then they also give it to you in a portable length, which that's. I mean, it's working on a desk right now. It'll work on your gaming rig. And by the way, we'll talk about the pads in a second. It's like an 80-minute review. Fine? It's fine. Because these are hard. These are hard. If you came here for a short, quick, and dirty, well, I shouldn't be saying it now at the 27-minute mark. Did I get it? Anyway, I wanted to try the Periapt cables because I have this one and I have this one, and they're both balanced. And I'm like, good. These headphones need power. Balanced outputs usually have anywhere from like 10 to 15, 25% more power out of an amp because of the way it's designed. Let me try it. And I plug them in, and no sound comes out. And then I start pulling out the connectors, and then the sound happens. So they're using different pins to pass the power than every other headphone. Because that's when Periapt is contacting me, and they're going back and forth. Do these headphones work? These. So even though they're the same fucking connector, these cables don't work unless you fucking pull them out, and then they'll make sound. So I couldn't even really test with balanced. You gonna stay? Now you will. I couldn't even really test with balanced, which sort of sucks. But I enjoy the hell out of these headphones. I take my FIO Q5, which is this thing, which is the Bluetooth portable DAC amp, which has balanced output, which if I wanted to use these legit, I'd have to, I love this cable though. I have to build another thing to get the balance up, like a little more power. Bluetooth to this from a phone. Was that on? No, that isn't the power switch. Okay. This is like the minimum amount of power required to get, because I go outside with these because I'm an asshole. Assholes with giant headphones outside usually are me. I'm the one guy. They're so light. Here, you ready? Ready? No one does that test on a video. Nobody does that test. That's why I drove with these. You know how fucking hard it is to try to drive with a set of headphones on? It's completely legal in most states. But it was usually you put them on, you feel like I'm doing something wrong. These don't weigh anything. I could, if I didn't get sweaty, and the comfort's pretty fucking good with the stock pads, I feel like I'm not wearing headphones. The clamp was crazy. You saw what I did to fix the clamp. The clamp was out of its fucking mind. Like, I thought maybe, like, oh, no, although my head was going to implode. It was either going to liquefy from 12K, from 12 decibels and 7K, or from the clamp. It was just going to eep, and then the head was going to explode like in scanners. So you loosen the clamp a little bit, and they're like HD 600s. Anyone who owns HD 600s, HD 6XXs, 660s, 650s knows when you put those on, there's just this perfect, comfortable seal, and they don't move. Here you go, in planar. Now, the fact that they're planar is almost irrelevant in this conversation. How do they sound? How do they honestly, if you wanted me to compare them to something, it would be 660s. If I had to pick the headphone that I would pull out of a hat to compare these two in dynamic, it would be Sennheiser HD 660s, which are probably some of my favorite. They're hanging up there. Probably some of my favorite headphones. These have more of an intense sensation going for them, but the level of detail, when you power them hard power, you get more bass and treble than the 660s give you. And then you get that weird fucking side imaging. Like, usually imaging is just here. Usually imaging is just, you hear violin here and the drums. But then you start hearing, when I start hearing shit in, like, a vertical, like, what the fuck is that? I have no idea what that is. Maybe my pair is broken, but I love it. I fucking love it. Put it on for a second, hold on. So this is a relatively quiet song. We're like 130 on that. Oh, that's gonna get loud. Let's jump right to it. These are one of those pairs of headphones that you put on someone's head and it either impresses them immediately or it freaks them out. Because at first I was freaked out. These pads was like, ooh, well, things are happening. And then I put the other pads on, and I loosened the clamp, and I powered them properly, and then I love them. So that's the story of my life. I think these are some of the nicest looking, I mean, the fucking variation of color is astonishing. Oh, black and maybe some silver, and it's got a touch of color and some wood. And the wood is why there's fucking two wood, and these are black and a little bit of red, and there's no silver. But I mean, they're the pretty. When I put them on the wall, which I may have to make my wall bigger, they'll be the prettiest fucking headphones up there. Period. I don't care what you say. I have to clean this up. I gotta polish this. They look. I don't believe that whole design for musicians shit. They're designed for Zeos. And I bought these with the Patreon money before Advanced contacted me. Actually, I spoke to them at CanJam. I'm like, give me stuff. And like, you bought these? I'm like, yeah, I bought these. You want to send your parent? I bought them. I fucking bought them with my money. And yeah, no, I'm glad I did. Because now I don't have to worry about like sending them back or having I don't know them shit. I'm giving you the lowdown. These fucking headphones, I love them. I love the way they look. The way they sound varies greatly with amplification. So if you get a pair and you don't like how it sounds, it may be what you haven't plugged into. Plug these straight into your phone, laugh. Because they'll do something. They'll make sound, but it'll be not what... It's like, how does that car drive? And you're in like a sewer tunnel? It's like, I don't know, you're just doing this. Well, try getting out on the road. Get it out in the road. Get it out in the road with some power. And then you can flip that switch and you can understand why it goes from like subtle, boring headphone to fucking intense soundstage gaming. I took these to fights. I gamed, and these were the one. I took these, and I took the closed back M1060Cs, which that review is probably out or coming up. And it was just like, fuck, so intense. Fucking Doom was scary. That's one of those things, is when the highs get up there, and you can push them right, it's scary. Games become scary again. I gotta stop talking now, because this is one of the longer reviews I've ever done for a headphone. And I basically explained nothing except that I am scared in games with them, and they're very hard to power, but they're so fucking pretty and light. And if you can get the cables to change, we can get a longer cable, because it's so make out with my hand like I haven't done that before. Okay, I'm gonna stop myself before before I lose subscribers from the length of this video. I'm going for 100K. Okay, I'll link these on their homepage. Hopefully some show up on Amazon, so you don't have to wait for... I like Amazon because you all have Amazon accounts, and you don't have to go and sign into some weird account on some weird site and buy one thing. I hate that. But yeah, maybe Massdrop. Maybe I'll email Massdrop and be like, hey, remember we had these and now you fucking blocked all the content? Why? Because you know what? I wonder if Advance asked them to do it because the comments... I was in the comment thread. You can't even find the comment thread where I was like, hey, I'm going to step up and buy these. And they were like, way to go, Zeos. You know, we'll see. But everyone else was like, oh, these are shit. But no one had bought them yet. And I'm giving you just my thoughts. These things are fucking weird in a great way. They just take some babying. It's like a 1960s Ferrari. Beautiful to look at. Fantastic to drive for like 4 minutes out of every hour you drive it. And when it springs a leak in the oil coming out of cylinder 4 and you have to get down there and you got to get that Italian plug that threads backwards, well, that's dealing with all this shit. That's getting the pads changed and like, oh my god, is my power proper? Just hunting for fucking which one of these is the sound best. And the answer is just all of them. They all... Anything with enough power to drive will have the actual sound, and anything that's underpowered will just be a little bit more flat. So, shit. Sound demo in the description. Link to wallpaper in the description. Link to the Patreon in the upper right hand corner in the description. Link to... I'll probably link the R2R. I'll probably link maybe the Emotiva Bass X. And of course, phone blocks. Zeos. Future Zeos. The greatest things ever invented. Where else can you get 2 headphone stands for $9? Where am I plugged into? You're weird and I like it.